Imagine being a slave in ancient Rome, stripped of your freedom, stripped of your family, stripped of your dignity. Every day, survival is a struggle, and every decision is controlled by someone else. You are property. In the eyes of Rome, you exist only to serve. But one man refused to accept it. One man rose against the might of the greatest empire the world had ever known. His name, Spartacus. Spartacus was born a Thracian, somewhere beyond the Danube, into a life that promised freedom and honor. But the Roman Empire had other plans. Captured in battle, he was enslaved and forced into the brutal world of gladiators. His home taken, his family lost, his identity reduced to chains and forced combat. And yet, in the heart of this suffering, a spark burned, a desire not just to survive, but to reclaim dignity, to defy fate itself. Gladiator training in ancient Rome was merciless. Spartacus learned quickly. Every strike, every maneuver, every sparring match taught him the brutal cost of obedience. His body became a weapon, forged in pain and relentless discipline, and his mind sharpened with observation, calculation, and strategy. Yet the arena was more than just a battlefield. It was a prison in disguise. Each fight reinforced Rome's control, a reminder of the consequences of rebellion. Spartacus, however, carried a spark the Romans could not extinguish, a spark that would ignite a rebellion unlike anything the empire had ever seen. At first, Spartacus was just another gladiator, part of a system designed to entertain the elite and terrify the masses. But he was also a keen observer of human behavior. He saw the loyalty among the trained fighters, the fear in the hearts of captives, and the arrogance of the Roman officers. He understood how to inspire people not through fear, but through respect, courage, and vision. This understanding would become the foundation of the revolt he was destined to lead. In 73 BC, opportunity presented itself. Alongside roughly 70 fellow gladiators, Spartacus escaped the gladiator school. Their initial weapons were crude, kitchen knives, shovels, farming tools, but their courage was genuine and their determination unstoppable. They ran from Capua, moving through forests and villages, fighting and surviving, and in the process inspiring countless slaves to join them. What began as a small escape soon swelled into an army of thousands. The early victories were as much psychological as tactical. Roman forces initially underestimated this group of escaped slaves. Their success spread rapidly, and every additional victory drew more followers. Farmers, shepherds, laborers, all those living under the crushing weight of Roman oppression abandoned their chains to join the revolt. Spartacus's army grew exponentially, and with it, the fear in Rome intensified. The empire had never imagined that the very people it enslaved could rise so effectively, so boldly against its power. Spartacus proved himself not just a fighter, but a strategist. He used mobility and terrain to his advantage, setting ambushes in forests, striking Roman patrols before vanishing into the countryside. He avoided large-scale confrontations until he was ready and struck decisively when opportunities arose. In one legendary engagement, his forces routed a Roman detachment far larger than their own, demonstrating not only skill, but the unpredictability that would haunt Roman generals throughout the revolt. But Spartacus's brilliance extended beyond battlefield tactics. He inspired loyalty through fairness and courage. Unlike many Roman leaders, he shared hardships with his soldiers. He listened to their concerns, respected their lives, and made decisions that balanced survival with morality. Under his leadership, His followers were no longer slaves. They were an army united by purpose, belief, and a shared vision of freedom. This trust, this bond would carry them through victories and hardships alike. For 2 years, the revolt spread across Italy, striking fear into the heart of Rome. Villages were abandoned, Roman garrisons defeated, and the sheer audacity of Spartacus's campaigns unsettled the Senate. The revolt was not merely military, it was symbolic. Each day, Rome faced the uncomfortable reality that its system of slavery and control could be challenged, and that rebellion could thrive despite overwhelming odds. Spartacus embodied hope for the oppressed and terror for the oppressors. As the revolt progressed, the Roman Senate realized it could no longer rely on inexperienced generals. Seasoned commanders were deployed with well-trained legions determined to crush the rebellion. Spartacus faced increasing pressure, yet he continued to outmaneuver Roman forces. He anticipated movements, chose battlefields carefully, and inspired his soldiers to fight with unparalleled courage. His tactical mind, combined with his ability to unite the oppressed, made him a formidable opponent, even for the most disciplined Roman legions. Despite brilliance, the tide eventually turned. Outnumbered and surrounded, Spartacus's forces faced a final confrontation in 71 BC. The details of his death are unclear, but tradition holds that he fell in battle, fighting to the very end, refusing to surrender even when defeat was inevitable. His body was never definitively found, but his story would resonate across history, becoming a symbol of courage and resistance. Even in defeat, the legacy of Spartacus endured. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even under the harshest oppression, one person can ignite a movement, inspire thousands, and challenge a mighty empire. Spartacus's revolt influenced thought, philosophy, and later movements for freedom throughout centuries. Spartacus's name became synonymous with rebellion, resilience, and the enduring desire for liberty. The revolt of Spartacus reminds us that history is shaped not only by kings and emperors, but by those who dare to defy them. His choices, his courage, and his leadership continue to inspire. He showed that leadership is not about status or wealth. It is about vision, empathy, and the ability to awaken the human spirit. In the shadows of Roman oppression, Spartacus illuminated a path towards dignity, freedom, and justice. And so, as we reflect on 2,000 years of history, Spartacus's story remains powerful. It is a tale of bravery, ingenuity, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. A tale that reminds us all, even when the odds are impossible, even when the empire seems invincible, one determined individual can change the course of history. Spartacus, the gladiator who defied Rome, teaches us that courage is contagious, loyalty is invaluable, and the desire for freedom can never be extinguished.